It's here. I was genuinely disappointed when recent series of Doctor Who left the Christmas special for a New Year's episode. So, to see a return to form was a true delight for this guy. Hopefully, you're a fan of the Christmas specials yourself. Regardless, are you ready to dive into the heart of time and space with the latest escapade of our favorite Time Lord? Stick around as we take a leisurely stroll to the church on Ruby Road, where goblins, or maybe gremlins, run amok, and the Doctor dances in kilts. Will it be a timeless classic or a festive flop? Let's find out. All that and more on this exciting episode of Mr. Know-It-All Reviews Doctor Who, the 60th Anniversary Special 4, titled The Church on Ruby Road. What's up, my know-it-alls? It was a fun holiday break for us. I visited my family at the Know-It-All compound in Florida, and now I'm back and have I got some catching up to do. If you haven't seen the most recent special, be warned, we're going to spoil this whole thing rotten.
Well, what makes you think it was me?
Because you've never liked me. I've seen you looking.
Ncuti Gatwa grabs the reins as our beloved Doctor, and folks, he doesn't just walk onto the stage, he sprints. Right from the get-go, he's rescuing his new companion from the clutches of what seems like goblins, or, they could be gremlins, whatever. Not once, but twice. And let me tell you, Gatwa doesn't just fill those iconic shoes, he runs a marathon in them. Right out the gate, I'm going to say that the biggest thing that I look for in a new Doctor is, can the actor truly carry the weight of the role? Now, not the iconic role we are watching, but the in-Whoniverse mantle we have seen passed on from actor to actor. When Tennant took over for Eccleston, it was the Sycorax speech on Christmas Day in his pajamas. When Matt Smith took over from Tennant, it was the speech he gave to the Atraxi. When Peter Capaldi took over, I didn't really feel like he was the Doctor until his third episode, Listen, which was brilliant and really showed us what he was genuinely all about. Sadly, I couldn't really get a bead on Jodie Whittaker's portrayal as the Doctor, funny enough, until after The Timeless Child and into Flux. It seemed like her devil-may-care free facade that she'd been giving us her entire run was beginning to crumble under the weight of her mysterious new origin, and even that felt oddly muddled. Mrs. Know-It-All and I agree that right out the gate, Ncuti Gatwa felt very much at home in the role, and the moment I started to really see who he was going to be as the Doctor, for me anyway, started in the street with the policeman.
And that precise ping was detecting a 2-carat diamond in your pocket, which says engagement ring, and I'm guessing that she's a she, because 91% of men wouldn't choose a diamond. Plus Christmas Day, it's obvious.
I don't know why, but that interaction felt very Matt Smith in that he over-explained in an almost Sherlock manner. Mrs. Know-It-All pointed out that unlike Matt Smith, who would explain every part, this was kind of like explain every single part of his thinking and whatnot. Ncuti made us feel like he had it all worked out, and then gave us the Cliff Notes version. As the Doctor, Gatwa is a whirlwind of charisma, flipping from charming to dead serious in kind of like a heartbeat. He's saving lives, real-life UK presenter Davina McCall's included, and his debut is nothing short of a fun-packed extravaganza, but it's not all giggles and grins. Gatwa brings a depth to the Doctor, showing us a wounded side when it comes to the frivolity of time travel. He embodies the Doctor's spirit with every fiber of his being. Enter Ruby Sunday, played by ever-charming Millie Gibson. Can I just call it like I see it? To me, she's Rose 2.0, and I'm absolutely okay with that. She's this optimistic girl next door, and in classic RTD style, there's a hint of a mystery lurking beneath the surface. Together, they're a duo that brings a fresh energy to the series, and the know-it-all household is over here wondering just what Russell T Davies has up his sleeve for these two. The episode starts with a type of flashback to Ruby's origin. She's a foundling. That's a British term for an abandoned child that was found. Obviously, duh. Literally left on the doorstep of the church on Ruby Road, where she both gets her name and where we get the title of the episode.
The child was taken in, and they named her Ruby, after the place where she was found.
Beyond that, we see her all grown up. She was rather adopted by her foster mother and lives in an attic apartment with her mom and foster grandmother, Cherry Sunday. A pistol, if there's ever been one. I genuinely love the family dynamic and the contrast later in the episode when it seems like the goblins have erased Ruby as literally, that whole thing is genuinely physically felt. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. We start out with a really interesting interview featuring real-life British presenter Davina McCall, who does a very passable job like any celebrity playing themselves on the show. RTD explained on the official Doctor Who podcast that she was actually the inspiration for the opening scene due to her doing Foundling features on her actual television show.
You were a foundling. You were fostered by Carla, who then went on to adopt you. Is that right?
Yeah, and she's amazing. I mean, she's nuts, but she's the best mom I could ever have. Yeah.
A lot happens in this opening to set us up for Ruby and her origin, and RTD is nothing if not succinct in giving us the highlights and then going back and kind of fleshing out the characters more deeply later. Now let's talk about the bizarre and the wonderful. A Jabba the Hutt-like Goblin King impaled on a church spire? A Christmas single about eating a baby? It sounds like the writers had quite the field day with this one, but that's the magic of Doctor Who. I love it so much. It takes you on a journey you never really expected, turning even the most outlandish scenarios into really riveting television. This felt very reminiscent of the Series 3 episode with Shakespeare, in that we're given something supernatural and the Doctor defines it as just another type of science. This is precisely the kind of thing we see happen as Gatwa's Doctor tells Ruby,
I am learning the vocabulary of rope. This stuff is their version of wires and electricity.
His genuine awe at being introduced to new things, still even in his old age, felt very much like the Doctor to me. The moment when Ruby mistakenly calls the goblins time travelers, the Doctor's reaction was pure gold.
They are not time travelers. Excuse me. Time travelers are great. Like the best, like wow.
But it's not just about the laughs and the sci-fi shenanigans. The episode touches on deeper themes too. Gatwa's Doctor opens up to us about being an adopted foundling, giving us a glimpse into the vulnerability that lies beneath the surface. It's a moment of genuine connection that sets the stage for really what's going to come next. As for the villains, the goblins are more mischievous than menacing, but they bring their own flavor of chaos to the story, and let's not overlook the heart-wrenching scene with Carla Sunday offering a glimpse into a lonely alternate reality.
Christmas Day, Mum's asleep by 3, and I'll be all on my own. Why would I want a daughter when I'm happy as I am?
Then why are you crying?
It was the kind of moment that harkens to those who face dementia every day. And it really took me by surprise, in a good way, in a real good way. The Doctor is very much seeing ripples around him, and this is the second time I saw the Doctor as we've known him, regardless of who plays the character. He works out quickly what's happened, and then we come full circle to where we saw him in the beginning. I saw online some people who were kind of confused because in the very beginning opening moments, we see him show up in the TARDIS, and then we give the whole Doctor in the Past at the start, and I had to explain that this is kind of a classic RTD era writing trope where he sort of plays with time travel, at least the aspect of the character, with some events happening out of linear order for us as well as the Doctor. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, Mrs. Flood breaks the fourth wall in a sensational twist.
Never seen a TARDIS before.
Who is she really? A regenerated Susan? The Rani? Missy? The speculation is really going to just keep us all busy for probably the next few months to come, let's be honest. I will say this. First, RTD has said it. It wasn't like a one-off gag. Everything in the episode matters and sets up things that will be revealed in the long run. Second, the instant it happened, Mrs. Know-It-All shouted, "It's Ruby!" and exclaimed to me. She rather explained that She believes it's an older retired Ruby kind of watching events. Now, I haven't got a clue who it is, but I'm certain that when we find out, it will be well worth the wait. That or RTD will have finally figured it out for himself as well. Now, for the fans of the classics, there are plenty of nods to the past, from references to Henrik's department store to allusions to Harry Houdini. The episode is a treasure trove of Easter eggs, and of course, the tradition of fourth wall breaking continues, a nod to the show's long-time standing whimsy and self-awareness. Before I wrap up, let's dive deeper into the Vortex section for hardcore fans. The connections to previous episodes and the mentions of old companions and the return to iconic locations like Howells and Cardiff are all part of the rich tapestry that makes Doctor Who really the cultural phenomenon that it is. So, there you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What's the Know-it-all Index rating for this Christmas special, the final 60th anniversary special for the Church on Ruby Road? It is most definitely a roller coaster of emotions. It's packed with action, laughter, and the odd tear or two. It's a bold new era for Doctor Who, and if this special is anything to go by, we're in for a thrilling ride. My rating for this festive time-traveling romp is a solid 9 out of 10. It's not just a Christmas special, it's a gift that keeps on giving, filled with the wonder, heart, and the adventure that makes Doctor Who a timeless classic. All right, my know-it-alls, let's break it down and talk about the pros and the cons of the Church on Ruby Road. This isn't about what shines, it's about what might have flickered a bit too. So gather around as we dissect this latest Doctor Who adventure. First up, the pros. Ncuti Gatwa, what a revelation. He steps into the TARDIS with such gusto, it's like he was born to play the Doctor. He weaves through with charm and intensity. He's got it's generally showing off, in my opinion, the ease of the Time Lord navigating the cosmos. And his chemistry with Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday, it's like they're two cosmic peas in an intergalactic pod, bringing a fresh dynamic of really uplifting energy to the screen. And the story, it's delightful. It's literally a blend of whimsy and danger, keeping us on the edge of our seats while tickling our funny bones, the goblins of surprises, celebrity cameos, the nods to the past. It's a festivity of creativity that encapsulates what we love the most about Doctor Who. Now on to the cons. Well, the episode's packed with fun. Some might find the kitchen sink approach kind of a bit much. There's a lot going on, and if you blink, and as we all know, you should never blink, you might miss a crucial bit of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. And while the goblins are entertaining, they might not leave you hiding behind the sofa in fear. They're much more mischievous than menacing, which works for some, but might leave other people longing for a little bit more of a formidable foe. I mean, for a Christmas special, it's actually pretty decent to have sort of a light and whimsical enemy. Overall, the story's pacing can feel a little roller coaster ride-like, especially through the time vortex at moments. It's exhilarating, but at others, it might leave you wishing for a moment to breathe, to soak in the emotional depth that the Doctor Who-universe is known for. In summary, the Church on Ruby Road is like a whirlwind tour through time and space. It's got highs that reach the stars and a few bumps along the way, but isn't that what adventure is all about? Strap in, hold tight, and enjoy the ride, because at the end of the day, every Doctor Who story is a unique journey through the Who-universe. Whether you're a fan of the classic chills or here for the modern thrills, there's something in this episode for everyone to talk about. Keep the conversation going in the comments, and let's continue to unravel the mysteries of the Who-universe together. Until next time, never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all.